can pull it apart, put it together. And it's all depending on your research question, or what are you going to investigate. Today, I'm not going to give a very heavy lecture, but a very light lecture in terms of content. Yesterday was very heavy theoretical stuff. Today I will show you a research project where I realized space syntax is lacking some part. And so I had to develop it. So after you try, working on space syntax, when you realize there is something, it's about spatial relationship. And you need to develop tools. And in this situation, space syntax, I've done a lot of research inside buildings. You saw the Syntax Workshop yesterday. You can analyze everything inside the buildings. And you have the city that's outside. But what is happening on the interface between private and public space? What is happening there? And that was lacking. And today, this year, this lady is now 100 years old. If she had been living today, she will be 100 years old. It's Jen Jacobs. And a lot of researchers refer to her. And she focused on the street. Her method was just qualitative observations. Just observation. She had no method, no systematic method. But everybody referred to Jen Jacobs. They talked about, I'm doing the Jen Jacobs method. But what is her method? She has no method, but she has some very interesting observations. Because she said that, people in the streets make a city lively. She talked about that. And how do you get people in the street? She has some observations. You have short urban blocks in a space syntax that create high connectivity and accessibility. And she talks about mixed use of function. Yesterday I showed okay, if you have a high integration, short urban, you get a mix of function. And then the third one, that is what I'm going to talk to today. Eyes on the streets, from buildings that ensure safety. That part, there was no method when I started, but that's something. I need to make how do you quantify it? And she talks about dense concentration of people, many people, and the last one. We need a clear demarcation of what is public and private spaces. How do you measure? What does it mean? Not this, these spaces like blurring borders. At the same time, in the 60s, when Jen Jacobs published her book, he had a Danish researcher called Jan Gehl. And he published a book in 1971 called Life Between Buildings. And he talks about three kinds of activities. It's necessary, optional, and social resulting activities. So necessary is like when you go from home to work, and social activities like you play, kids play in the street, you interact with others. But optional is like the activities where you want to stop, sit, look, like the flaneur, to see like what's going on. And the optal activity is very dependent on the physical quality of the built environment. Because it's about possibilities that the built environment will shape possibilities where people can stay and sit in public space. But another thing, he talks about the way entrance orient towards streets. We always talk about the idea about the spatial possibilities for social activities. But Jan Gehl never developed a method. He used methods for how do you record social activities, use statistics. But he has no method on the spatial part. So that's the background. A lot of people refer to them. But space syntax has the method. But it was lacking, what you say, between private and public space. So imagine here that if you're living in a traditional street, you're living in that house, and a stranger walks at the front door, and then you consider that, it's just normal. But if you live here, in the upper walkway, and it comes a stranger in your front door, you ask, are you lost? Or you get nervous, or you go into the apartment. Or you say, what are you doing here? But if you say, what are you doing here? Then they will say, Mr. Johnson at that house there, he must be schooled up. so on. So, but it has to do with the spatial parameters between the traditional street and this kind of upper London street. So there's something within the relationship between private and public space. In other space syntax, it's very good to measure the street network. So you see, like, we have a lot of research is global integration. Here you see how the big shopping malls follow the global integration. And then you have the local integration, and then you see the pedestrian-based shopping street with individual shops, like a lot of micro-scale business. And here you see the white pattern of shops. The circles are carved shopping malls, and the white pattern are more the small individuals. But when we come to the urban microscale, what are we looking at here? When we started to develop the tool, we want to see how is the relationship between indivisibility of doors and entries. We're looking at the ground floor. What is happening there? And also the density of entries. Does it play a role? And also what you call topological depth. How many semi-private and semi-public spaces do you need to walk through from the street to your home? And then the degree of constitutiveness that already developed in the sociological space, but it was never elaborated further. So we took that into account. And we also looked at parking spaces because we need to look at car crime. So it's all about how is the how can people keep an eye on the street, and how can the street also keep an eye on the house? So the question is how to measure it spatially. So what we did, we started off with two areas. It was in 2004, we did, or 2005, we did the registration. That is before we had Google Street View. So we had to walk. So we found out two different areas in the Netherlands with the largest variation in buildings, the largest variation in the social composition of dwellers. So you have low income, high income people, big variation. So we walked through 1,168 street segments, and we registered everything. And then turned out 4 of these registrations really had something to do with the relationship, safety, crime. So here is the one area, that is the Gouda in the Netherlands. And you see the city center in the corner, and the more you move towards the east, the more modern the buildings are. And then, yeah, by the way, here is the area, the famous Oosterwey area, Gouda, here, I talked about yesterday. Really, really worst neighborhood, and then you have more newer neighborhood. Here you have some in the 30s. Here you have some really nice dwelling for people with high income. So this is Gouda, and the other is Alkmaar. Both cities are known for producing cheese, but we were looking at the correlation between burglaries. We managed to get a daisy from the police on theft from cars and break-ins into buildings. So we choose also this segment of the city, like here you have the city center, historical city center, and here this one. Here everything was like variation, like a patchwork of cheap houses, expensive houses. And then we start registering 25 features. But the most interesting, I will talk about these 4 things that really was important. The one is, we want to investigate the topological depth between private and public space. So what we do, if the entrance is connected directly to the street, it has 0. There's only not a door, but also a window. So like a door and a window. And if it has a front garden, like a small front, we give it a value like 1. Now, it could be several private homes to one front garden, but anyone get 1. As soon as the entrance going to the side of the building, you have to go from the front garden to the side, you get 2. And if you go on the back side of the building, you give it 3 times direction change. Just did it, give it a value. And if the building has a storage room, you know, like door where you store away your bicycle or a garage, it was like really high. You put 3 and higher because it's really. So that we recorded. And how does it look like? So this one in the historical city center is like 1, no 0, because the private homes are directly connected to the street. And then, at this case, now you look at the street where you see the boy with the bicycle, and from each of these apartments, I think it's 6 times direction change, because you go to the parking place 1, up the staircases 2, into the lift or staircases inside the building 3, and then you are 4 in the corridor, 5 on the upper walkway, and then 6 you're into the apartment. So we put an average 6, like that's for all these buildings. So now I have a method to measure the private-public interface. And what we discover also, the more modern the building is, you know, Dutch people like to live on water. Water is very important. Because you have no mountains, so the landscape is green and flat. So water is nice change. But sometimes they make very complex entrance situation. This is a student housing. And one of my students, he was living there, and he said it's 7 times direction change before he come into his student room. And it's really, you have no connection between the street and what's going on. So this was like the one method. The other one we used, what Hillian Hansen wrote about constitutants and non-constitutants. So if you have a building connected to the street, and the entrance is directly connected to the street is constituted. And if it's not, it's unconstituted. You just make like here is a building and a street. Here is unconstituted, and here the street is constituted. So that is about that. So there's a difference between constituted, and now we're going to indivisibility. Here I'll show you some examples on constituted street and unconstituted street. Like pedestrian subways are unconstituted street. Or sometimes you have a street with houses, but the entrances are on the side of the building, so the street are unconstituted. And in order to do so, because we don't have any software for this, so we register a manual. This is the area in Alkmaar. So all the red streets are constituted, and all the blue ones are unconstituted. So, and then you see, like here, you see all the points are the burgers. We got the GIS reference, geo-reference, so we can import it into GIS. And here, I will show an example. This street has a topological depth like 1, because the buildings have a small front garden. But the entrances are very directly connected to the street, so this is constituted. And when I turn around 180 degrees, you get this street. And this unconstituted. And that's a problem what you see in the Netherlands or most European towns, that they build apartments with a parking garage on the ground floor. And then you get this, what you see, walls, blind walls. And it's not nice to walk on the street. It's very boring. But here, you see people in the street, you see them walking. But here, you see like people are rushing very quickly through it. So this is a way of describing. You have a method to describe is the street constituted or unconstituted. So when we want to use it in statistics, we put like constituted, like 2 and unconstituted 1. That's the way we put it into the statistics. Now that was the 2 first ones. The 2 second ones, they're very closely related. And that's about indivisibility of entrance and density of entrance. Many people think if you have a high density of entrance, that is a way to have many eyes on the street. But the other thing is that if the entrance is located only on one side of the street or on both sides of streets. Now, a lot of people confuse like a high density of entrance, high indivisibility. It's not the case. So, this street is indivisible and has high density of entrances. This street is still indivisible, but the density of entrance is low. Even here is lower. But you have two dwellings that can keep an eye on each other. It's about security matter. This street is not indivisible because entrances are on one side. And here also you have a high density of entrances, but the street is not indivisible to one another. So what we did, we just walked around. Here you see different ways. We were calculating how many percent of the entrance were indivisible and how many not. Not this, we just counted entrance and then we see like how many we recorded that and put it in Excel file. So here we use a color code. So the red are the 75% indivisible, and then the yellow are the 50 to 75, and then we have 25 to 50, and then the blue are between 0 and 25%. And you're interesting, the closer you get to the city center, the more you see the indivisibility increases of the entrances. Because in this neighborhood you have a lot of problems, is that you have maybe windows but no doors, and then you have no entrance on the other side of the street. Here's another example also. This street, you can say, this is constituted. It has a high density of entrances, but it's not indivisible, because there's nothing on the other side. It's storage rooms. Now we have a tool to be more refined about this. And also, what we realize, if you have an entrance situation like this, you have like a high hedges, high front garden entrance on the back side of the house, and we saw that thieves, they prefer places like this, because when they come to the other side of the garden, they have all the time to operate without getting noticed by neighbors. Neighbors cannot control the things. So if you live like this, you need to buy a dog. Aggressive one. So that's the situation. And always when you go to these houses, you see a sign, beware of the dog. So it's like a way of scaring off the thieves. These micro-scale measurements, they are really interesting when you start to combine it with the syntax analysis on a macro scale. And at that moment, the angular analysis was developed in 2005. And then from there, you can identify the main routers. And we find out really the main routers have a very important role in the way how between macro and micro scale. So this was the first angular analysis of, this is Alkmaar. Here is the area. This area we investigated. And here you see an indication of main routers. And I showed you yesterday, when you use the metrical radius, with the high metrical radius, you can highlight the main routes. And the same here is in Gouda. And you see also here is the local angular analysis with the topological radius like 3. That was just developed when we did the research. And when you take the angular analysis with the high metrical radius, you show the main routers. The interesting what we did, we took all the main routers and recorded it. And every time you change direction from the main routers, you give it a topological step. The orange streets are 1, the yellow 2, 3, 4, 5. So we recorded, we did that manual at the time. And then we did it here for Gouda. Here you see it. And then we plotted in the burglary plots. And then what we did, the blue one have entrance from the back door. And the black one have entrance via the front door. And then you see, like, the more you come to the main routers, the more you see that the thieves look for the back, segregated back door. And then the black one are more far further away from the main routers. So that is what we saw. And here is also the topological depth from the main routers in Alkmaar. So we put it there. And when we did this research, we discovered something interesting about how is the main routers going through or between urban areas. how are the neighborhood connected to the neighborhood? And you see here in traditional, before the Second World War, from the 30s, the main route was right through the area. And then, and after the Second World War, the main routes went around the neighborhoods. And that made them even more segregated. So that's why we discovered this is a very interesting macro scale. And you can do it by hand. And now we use what we do with the depth map. We just mark all the main routes and then we take a step analysis from there and then you guide it in one class. So that is the newest method we use. So then we realize we start to correlate, we use the statistics to correlate a micro and a macro scale with one another. And it turned out the more you go away from the main routers, the more people tend to turn the entrance away from streets. That was really an interesting part. And the other thing what we discover is, I work with the criminologists, they're really trained in statistics. So, what we did while we walked, we counted also the number of dwellings on every street segment. And a lot of the police use what you call hotspots. Like you have a high concentration of crime in these areas. And that seems like traditional neighborhoods have more crime than in the modern one. But if you count the number of dwellings, then you get the complete opposite effect. Because what is more safe? One burglary per 100 homes or one burglary per 10 homes? And that's, we discover something interesting here. It seems like if you just type crime rates, you see the more, the higher number of dwellings, the higher number of crime incidents. So this one will say that the cul-de-sac street, that are more safe. But if you take the number of burglaries per number of dwellings, you see as soon as the number of dwellings increase, the crime risk reduces. So this view supports Oscar Newman defensible space with semi-private spaces and semi-public space. This one supports Jim Jacobs' view when you have open and thermal built environment with clear definition of private and public space. So this seems, this is the way how statistics can be used or misused. And the interesting part, what we correlate all the dwellings with number of houses. And then we discover one thing, the position of the main routers through the neighborhoods is really, really important. Because as soon as you're on a main route, in one direction you have shops. And after the area becomes very, very, very non-functional. We also did with constitutors. When the street is constituted, so when you're on the main route, you see that the streets are more constituted, and when you go away from it, two is we use one for constituted, two for unconstituted. We took the average value. You see, really, when you're 6 times direction change from the main route, the street is unconstituted. It seems like people turn the entrance away from the street the more you are away from main routes. And here you also the depth of entrances. Here on the main route is 0.95. So you have some buildings with small front gardens and some directly connected. And the further away you go from the main routes, here on level 6 to 7, you have all the entrance on the back side of the building. It seems like when you're living in a segregated neighborhood, and all the neighbors, have social control on each other, you want to hide yourself from the neighbors because people are talking. But when you're on the main route, you have a mixture of visitors and so on, and you can be more anonymous. You want to participate in the social life. And also street function. When you're on the main route, you have more than 2 different functions. Maybe it's dwellings or shops, and then office and dwellings, and then the further away you go, and then the area gets very low, only dwellings. And also here with dwelling type, and not so much, but here, this is the interesting, indivisibility of windows and doors. when you are on level 0, the intervisibility, the first and the second and the third, they're very high, and soon you go more than 2-3 times direction change, the visibility between windows and doors drops. And the most interesting when you look at burglaries from dwellings, because they're very detailed reported in the police register, it has to do with insurance, because you have to report everything detailed, otherwise you don't get money from your insurance company. Then we see like the higher indivisibility of windows, when it increases, the burglary risk drops. Local integration, the higher local integration, burglary risk drops. The more you turn away from the in-routers, the number of direction change, the burglary risk increases. So that is what we discovered. And then interestingly overlap the topological length of main routers, like the macro scale, and indivisibility of doors and entrances, the micro. It explained 95% of the burglaries in both neighborhoods. So it seems like the role of the main router and the position of windows and door has something to do with this, like safety and street life in neighborhoods. So we managed to create a language to describe. This is what you say the constituted and indivisible main router. Here, the main route is constituted but not indivisible. This neighborhood, this main route here, have unconstituted and not indivisible neighbor. Here you have some dwellings with the entrance on the back side on the side. So this is a method that is very easy to communicate with planners. So you see, like in Europe, after building this high-rise, social housing, now they're back again to develop small-scale developments. But they want to copy the past. But the way the dwellings are situated, they're like this. So the indivisibility of entrances are reduced. Here is an old photo from the campus from the University of Delft. Now they remove the road and make a park, But the problem is, like, the buildings has no entrances towards this park. So people are rushing through. This is the new bicycle park. So also here, this is from the 1960s. They built this kind of buildings. And this is along the beach in The Hague. They call it Scheveningen. And I moved further down to the streets. Here you see these old beach cafes. In the background you see this flat. You see what does it do with street lighting? And you don't want to sit here. It's no encourage for street light. This is better. It's a very important micro-scale thing. Seems to be forgotten. Here also, architects. It's a quite new housing area. Architects like complex entrance situation. But when you live there, you want to go all the way from your car up there and into the house and stumble in the potlands of the neighbor and so on. Make it very complicated. And also, people like to hide the entrance away. And if you look at the opposite of this street, because in Netherlands, like you like the shadow. But in Netherlands, in Northern Europe, they like the sun. So if you sell a house with a garden oriented towards the southwest, because when you come home from work, you want to get some D vitamins. So they prefer to put all the buildings with the garden towards the southwest, because if you have a garden to the northeast, then the price is lower for your house. But what you get is this kind of streets. That's also you get very unsafe streets. You don't want to walk there at night. And also this housing area is very new in Delft. Things like water, living close to water is very popular. So the active frontage for the house is towards the water. But when you go to the entrance situation, you see this. And here also it's very segregated street, surrounded by canals. But you don't, and they've split up the movement routes between pedestrians, bicyclists and people who walk. So the social control mechanism is reduced nobody seems to have take care of an eye on the street. This is the Hague Center. It's developed the last 15, 20 years. Beautiful skyline. But if you go on the street level, you see like this parking garage there. You get what's happening on the ground floor. You get very sort of the social control mechanism is really reduced. So after we developed these tools, we were just finished. And then in 2007, it was a politician in the Netherlands. She selected 40 worst neighborhoods in the Netherlands with high number of crime, social problems. And we thought, wow, this is an opportunity. We want to try out the tools. And they were not interested at all. So what they did, like they gave money for improving the playground and paint the houses. And then 5 years later, they realized nothing has helped. They put a lot of money, nothing has helped. And there were 5 municipalities in the Netherlands that approached us, the criminologist I worked together with, Manuel Lopez, and then I. And then we said we need some architects who are very good in communicating or designing a solution. So we were a team of 4 persons. And then we started to analyze all 4 of them. We want to make a diagnosis on them, a spatial diagnosis. Because depending on the spatial problem, you cannot predict the future, but you can say like, what is spatial wrong with them? So what we did, we looked at the degree of local angular integration. How well connected is it to the vicinity? You see how vital is the neighborhood? So here one was very well connected and one is very poorly connected. You know, this is the neighborhood here. This is neighborhood. It's really weak. And the other thing, we were looking at the angular integration with the high metric radius. How is the main routes in the area? Like here on the left, it goes right through the area. Here, either they're lacking or they're going around. This is the neighborhood, one of the worst neighborhoods in the Netherlands, this one. And here you have a neighborhood, and the main routes go right through it. And then we looked at also how is the metrical low radius. It's like how is the vitality for pedestrian. And then this area is also a well-connected street, and this is like really poor. And then we went to the microscale level. We look at how is the intervisibility on the ground floor buildings to the street. And then we look here at the indivisible, and here we see like a post-war housing. They have storage rooms in the ground floor, and then we have the shortcut. Buildings are like this. And also, we want to check the main routes. How is the main routes in the area? Does it have indivisibility, high indivisibility on the ground floor? And does it have nothing at all? Like here. And there you have high-rise buildings with storage room. And the other one is open up for micro-scale businesses. Because one of the problems of the inhabitants in there is like, many of them are unemployed. And as soon as if you have the spatial facilities, you can have the Turkish vegetable shops, the Moroccan bakery. They establish them in this kind of streets. And then we could group them in 4 groups. And it has all to do with the micro and the micro scale. So the first one have high values on all scales. And the other one, they can have very highly integrated street network with the entrance situation poor. And the other one is the opposite. They're very indivisible streets, you know, but they're very poorly integrated. And the fourth one, they're really poor on all levels. And we realized that more than 50% of the problem neighborhood was in group 4. We realized. And all these 4 groups require different kind of improvement strategy. So here I show you type 1. It's well connected on all levels. Highly integrated street. Here you see the main routes, and you see the local dwelling streets. And there were two areas in that group. And we find what is the problem there. Then we saw the technical standard of the dwellings were very poor. Like the toilets were old, the bathrooms were old, the apartments were very small, consisting only of one bedroom and one living room. And in this area you have a lot of immigrants when they come to the Netherlands, and as soon as they get a job, education, they move out of there. So you have a lot of people moving in, moving out. So here you need to improve the technical standard of dwelling and provide a more variation of dwellings. So that is the improvement strategy for this area. And here you see some part of some analysis. You see the main routers running through the areas, and there you have the low radius. You have also like a quite high variation, and where you have the high and the low, you have a lot of immigrant shops. The type 2 have a very integrated street network, but on a micro scale level, it lacks absolutely no indivisibility. All high-rise, you see typical post-war areas with this high-rise repetition architecture, I call it. And all ground floor have storage rooms like parking garage and so on. And the thing here, what do you need to do there? You need somehow to sacrifice the storage room and make it possibilities for open for micro-scale businesses. Or where the street network is not highly integrated, you make dwellings there. And you contribute to a sort of social control on the street. And here you see some analysis of the new West in Amsterdam. So you have this route running through here. Here you see the integration here. So here is the main route, and here's the dwelling street. You see here, storage room, no windows, no doors, no social control. The third type, you have what you call these working class houses built around 1910. And there you see they're very tiny row houses. They look very cozy. They have their own garden. Technical standard might be low, but the living quality is high. But the problem is that through the railway, they are often between railway tracks. And that makes the street network very segregated. So people who live there, they complain about few opportunities to get a job in the neighborhood or start their own company. Because you don't have the through travelers, potential customers. They're very segregated from this neighborhood. And here you see one of them with the high metric radius. It lacks completely main routes in the area. You see it like some little bit on the low level. And you see like the main routes go completely around, and this is inside the neighborhood. So it's very cozy, and the thing is like, this is the most difficult to improve. Because you need somehow to make connections. Somehow you have to find ways to make, how do you cross the railway tracks? And the frequency of train running in the Netherlands, you maybe have to make more subways or whatever to connect it. Then the last group, where more than 50% of the neighborhoods were belonging to that one. Segregated street networks, low indivisibility or almost no indivisibility. Here you have a constituted street, but no indivisibility, because all the buildings are positioned like this. This was really in the news. This neighborhood was regularly in the news because you have riots there and so on. And here you see some integration value on the high and the low metric radius. Really low, absolutely low. So in these neighborhoods, the municipality asked me, what can we do with this? I think it's like tear it down and build it up new again. That's the best thing. So, and get different types of dwelling, more variation, and also you have to really change the whole street pattern. So, when you want to improve this neighborhood, you see that a lot of people think we can modernize dwelling. It's not enough. Because 5-10 years later, we are back on the same track again. This neighborhood has so poor qualities. So that was what we discovered, is like really like if you want to change something, you have to somehow first try to connect the neighborhood to the rest of the city. So you get this natural mix of visitors and inhabitants. So you can generate microscale activities. I had a student from Iran, and she grew up in a multicultural neighborhood. And she could distinguish, she went out to register, where do people, how do they behave in space? So she could distinguish between the Turkish and the Moroccan immigrants, and also from the Dutch Antillean, from the Caribbean. So she walked through in a neighborhood and did it. And then she connected to the spatial parameters. And here is one neighborhood. She looked at building heights, but also the density of entrances, like here. So the more lighter it is, the more you have higher density of entrances connected to the street. And she also looked at the facilities, what was going on. You have the mosque for the Turkish immigrant, the mosque for the Moroccan immigrant, you have the church for the people from the Dutch Antillean or Suriname. And then also you have, and then she went to register. The interesting is like, here you see static snapshot between how does the native Dutch behave in relationship with, I think this is, I think it's native Dutch in relationship to, I'm not sure if that are the Turks or the Moroccans. See how different they behave. And here you see the Antillean and the Antillean and the Moroccans, the other was the Turkish. And you see like, at the moment, when you overlap for the whole neighborhood, you see that the Turks and the Moroccans, they don't even mix when the segregation is high. But as soon as the integration increases, what you call high local angular integration, it seems like spatial integration contributes to social integration. And here you see the angular integration, the few routes that go here, and they have local shops. There people mingle. And spatial segregation seems to contribute to social segregation. And she investigated several neighborhoods in Rotterdam, and she realized if the main routes run through the area, it contributes to microscale distances, and that the various people, that the native Dutch and also the Turkish and the Moroccan and Antillean, they mingle together. And if the main route just goes around, it segregates. But the main route needs also entrances that are connected to the street, like the ground floor. That is very important. And the thing is like, when you look at, in Netherlands you call it the ghetto, or the multicultural neighborhood. And the reputation of a neighborhood, whether it's called a ghetto, in Netherlands you have in Rotterdam, they have some neighborhood, they call it the Turkish ghetto or the Moroccan ghetto, or we call it the multicultural neighborhood. And we realize it's very related to the spatial layout. So if a neighborhood has a main route running through the area and entrances that are connected on the ground floor, then you see all kinds of business from various ethnicities that go there. And also the native Dutch like to go there because you get spices, herbs from all corners of the world. And they say, oh, this is a lovely multicultural neighborhood. But as soon as the main route just goes around, you have no, what you call indivisibility, no Swede, no constitutness, then the neighbor gets a repetition. So this is the ghetto. So it seems like, we discovered that, it seems like how a neighbor gets his name is very dependent on the spatial layout. And when we look at modern housing projects, it seems like urban project development. They build, I think we need to build dense. We build high, many floors, get many dwellings. High floor space index, high ground space index. But I forget the street link. It's like, how does the building connect to the street on the ground floor? So that is missing. And I think that this urban project developer sell this apartment, like this is highly urban. But that's right. I mean that we need to bring the urban microscale to back in planning and design and decision making, in the planning and the regulations. And the problem is, how do you communicate? You know, you've seen a lot of space syntax map, a lot of colors, like justified graphs, you know, graph models and so on. How do you communicate to a stubborn municipality architect or a decision office? So I made a sort of, if you want to regenerate the urban areas, what should you do? So you cannot predict whether it will be crime or not, because we are dealing with really social rationality. But how can you do to reduce the opportunity for crime? How can you do to generate people in the street? That's a sort of what James Jacobs say. How do you do it? So I wrote some very simple principles. First, let the main route run through the area, and not around. It's the first thing. Then you get a natural mixture of visitors and locals. Second, make sure that the entrances are connected directly to the street. And don't position the building like that they turn away from the street. Try to street for that, but you have at least entrance to the street. The third one is also how do you position your buildings? Because I had a case in Tilburg like this, and they were really struggling with a group of youngsters there. Nobody dared to walk there. But if you face the buildings to this on the short side, it's a flip over effect. Then you can generate very lively streets. And here I have an example from the Birmingham. You see, what do we do with short walls? You want to walk along this group of youngsters. You don't feel safe. No. This is the really worst case. But look at that wall behind. Don't look at the ugly picture. So, the fourth principle is not only to have doors and entrances on the street, but you need to have an active function behind it. Storage rooms, parking garage, and no active function. You need something, an office, or a dwelling, or a shop. That is an active function, because then there's always somebody there to keep an eye on the street. So here you see a dwelling, and here you see like on the ground floor with storage rooms. And the other thing is, how is the local street network? If you have a network structure, make sure that people come out all the time. Here's a network, here's a main router and a network. But if you have the main router with the tree structure, I grew up in a street pattern like this. I was living there, and my best friend was living there. I had to bicycle with my little three-way bicycle all the way there. It took me about 10 minutes. And I find it was faster to jump over the fence around the garden. I did it as a kid, and then we have some anger, oh, watch out for my flowers. As a kid. I didn't have patience for that. But when I got older, and I had my driving license, instead of walking the 5 minutes, the 10, 15 minutes, I took the car. Because it was so boring to walk there. And all the houses have fences, high hedges and high fences. It's not nice to walk. The sixth is very important, the relationship between main routes and local centers. You see that if you have a metrical high radius and a metrical low radius on integration, if it's on the same area, that creates very vital shopping area. Close to a neighborhood, if you take it around, you get the playing ground or maybe the supermarket with the necessary things we get for the neighborhood, and that's it. So, if you have the main routes that go right, not only through the area, but through the local centers, where you have really high connectivity on the pedestrian levels, then you get very vibrant local neighborhood centers. You shape the spatial opportunities for that. Sometimes, it's not always easy to make all streets indivisible, to make sure that they're constituted. You have the doors and entrances really directly to the street. And that's the problem if you see gated communities, like with high hedges and fences. And also make sure, like the topological depth between private and public space is short. Not many semi-private, semi-public spaces. So then you have that. Make sure that the buildings are turned towards the streets. And also, when you have a main route going through the area, make sure they're connected to all streets instead of some points. You know that then you aggregate very like everybody does things on the private car, and then you get the car-based shopping mall. Then they go on points. But if the streets go right, connected to the neighborhood, connected to all streets, you get much more variation in the micro-scale businesses, and that aggregates liveliness to the street. So it means this 9th principle is like, how can you design a neighborhood out of crime? And it has to do with the theory of the natural movement economic process. You have to use that. You have to make sure that the street, you have some integrated streets that's in the neighborhood that create a local center. So you can have people in the street all the time, and then you have this natural surveillance mechanism from buildings, eyes on the streets. That this is all about. And what do we do wrong today? It's like typical what you see. I see it all over in the world. And we, first of all, we make dwellings entrance, we turn them away from streets. Here you see a traditional Dutch dwelling street. You know, there's a man sitting in front of the door, you know, he's always doing something with his flowers, people come along, and yeah, lovely day. He says, yes, it's really lovely, yes, how wonderful. And here, this is very popular, it's in Scandinavia, Germany. This is an apartment, you go into a courtyard inside and there. And in Oslo, it was really a problem, because you see that women, they tend to go alone in town, like flaneur, it's more normal. And also they get drunk, and then they go in and lock up, and there was a problem that somebody followed after them and they got raped in the building. So, and also people who lock up the door and somebody comes to treat them and then steal their wallet. And also if you look at shops, you know that modern shops, the supermarket, they make shops that turn away from streets. Instead of here in a traditional street where you open everything up towards the street. And also the third area is that people make very, very complex entrance situation. So, you see here, they have a parking garage in the ground floor, you have an apartment on top, and then you make a staircase, you have to go on the backside to get to the ground. Very, very complex entrance situations. Instead of just like make it directly to the street. So, what are the challenges for the future for this? Because we have tried, you know, the microskeletons, we do it by hand. Now we use Sswb Street View. In many cities, you know, they have this car running through, and then when you're sitting on the computer, you can take this man, click on that, and you have this man go like this, when you're dropping down in the street, you see it? Okay, street is indivisible, it's constituted, and you can record it. So that is the manual way. But I think the GIS might be a tool where you have the dwelling entrances that you can maybe the possibility to aggregate that. Because still we don't have any software on this. But on the other hand, it's very good to go there out in the field to look. So what I do when I analyze, when I did this 40 problem neighborhoods, I could use Google Street View. But in some streets the car wasn't being able to drive there. And then I went just to see the few streets. So it was not so time consuming as when we did it for the first time in 2005. In 2012, all cities had Google Street View in the Netherlands. We need more evidence. But now at the moment, some researchers in Turkey and in India, they're applying the tools. Somebody in Washington and America, and some in Nottingham in the UK has been applied in the PhD thesis. So, the evidence are coming slowly now. And if you, I think it's slowly approaching to be something, because if you have this evidence, you can apply on the testing. You know, testing design proposal. What does it do with your design proposal? Also, when you're working in the municipality, and it comes to project developers, I want to work this good together. Wait a minute. Your entrance situation. Your entrance situation is very anti-urban, and you want to build 10 floors in the very urban areas? Please solve it. To make sure that the doors are running to the street, you have some windows, some active furniture, put the storage room somewhere further away, but not on the street. So that is what you do. That's a way of communicating this. So this was my presentation, and you see an image like from a traditional neighborhood in the Netherlands, with an image workshop on the corner and very nice spices term. And you see how people talk, interact. So that was my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Martins, for this presentation that I found very interesting, that tackles a very important issue related to the vulnerability of cities and security. Now we're going to get to a question. I prefer a question. We start with Dr. Students. Anybody have asked a question?